This is your weekly update for the week beginning February 2nd. Let's jump into it. A lot of people are anxious right now. And when I see an anxious investor, I generally don't ask what the market's doing. I ask what they're trying to control, what their goal is. Epictetus, the philosopher, put it perfectly. When I see an anxious person, I ask myself, what do they want? For if a person wasn't wanting something outside their own control, why would they be stricken by anxiety? Markets expose this better than anything else. As parents, we want certainty for our kids. If you're traveling like we are this week, as a team, we're traveling to the Kestra Ascend conference in Austin. We want perfect timing. As an investor, you want the market to behave and do what you need it to do. But the reason we do financial planning is because it helps to pull us back into those things that we can control. So let's start with a market update. The Federal Reserve last week held rates steady. Inflation on the producer side did come in a little hotter than expected, but the markets largely shrugged it off. That tells us something important. While markets are resilient, they are no longer really forgiving. So the big takeaway is not really about chasing returns, it's about managing expectations. Bonds, we don't own bonds anymore because we're looking for a big drop in rates. They are owned for the reason they used to be owned for more than 15 years ago: income, diversification, stability. If you're looking at pressures that governments or countries or economies are going to have, a good example might be to look at Japan closely. They're a perfect example of what happens when inflation, debt, and political promises all collide. Yields move higher, currencies weaken, and markets, they're going to react to that. It's just math. And planning is what helps you stay the course in uncertain times. Let's talk about taxes, because this is where some of that control actually lives. That old Tax Cut and Jobs Act got replaced by the Big Beautiful Bill Act of last year. It reinforced a long-standing truth. That is, tax flexibility follows income structure. W-2 income has its limits. Business and people have more options than someone who works as a W-2 employee. Legitimate deductions still exist for business owners and side income earners. Professional fees, marketing, tech, home office expenses, health insurance premiums, which could include Medicare, travel tied to income, qualified business income deductions. All that stuff matters. They're not loopholes, they're incentives. So but the thing is, they only work if income is structured correctly and documented properly. That ties us back into the intersection of family planning, but also business planning. Our financial fitness checkup, which is going to go out in our blog post this week, starts with family. Most financial plans don't break because of what's going on in the market. They break because of life changes: marriage, divorce, unexpected death, college, aging parents, adult children moving back home, aging parents moving in with their kids. Every one of these changes affects cash flow, taxes, insurance, and retirement timelines. If something in your family changed recently, but your plan didn't, the plan is already outdated. Planning has to move at the speed of life, not the speed of statements. For business owners, the same rule applies. It's just a little bit faster. February is early enough to adjust and late enough to see reality. Is your business expanding? Employee benefits, retirement plans, those things matter. Are you thinking about selling, structuring the sale, which if you haven't met our business partner, Jason Dufault, who's great at this, structure matters now, maybe even more importantly than when you close. Have key employees, how are you going to retain them? What happens to your business if one of them has an unexpected issue? Business planning, tax planning, insurance planning, all these things integrate. Fragmented advice, I heard this from this guy, that from that guy, this from the other person. It's expensive, but if you have someone coordinating it like a certified financial planner, it's now leverage. Hopefully what you're getting out of this week's update is that February matters more than you think. Medicare Advantage general enrollment periods are still open. Tax documents start arriving, and it's the time to get organized. Good February planning leads to a calm April. Bad February planning leads to rushed decisions. There's nothing magical about February other than Valentine's Day. It's just early enough to act and late enough to do it well. Markets will move, policy's going to change, life will interfere. Anxiety comes from demanding certainty when none exists. Planning restores peace by focusing on what you can control: structure, discipline, preparation. And if any of this in today's uncertain world feels uncomfortably relevant, it's not a warning. That's your cue to act. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. We will see you next week.